All right, so we are live. Hooray! Let's go. Hey guys, if you're just tuning on in, let me know where you're tuning in from. Today I have a very special guest, Cynthia, and we're this is a casual chat between me and Cynthia. Cynthia is one of our clients, and she just did her first launch. I like to interview and stitch together the stories, success stories of my clients as they go bigger and bigger. And so this is Cynthia's first launch, first experience, and we're gonna go and I'm gonna go and ask her about all the things, her experience and everything like that. And you guys will get to know who Cynthia is, what she does. So, all right, I love Cynthia how you came so prepared with a QR code. Let's freaking go. So freaking prepared here. But yeah, let's take a step back and tell us a little bit about your, origin story, not origin story, like, what series of events led you to this crazy world of monetizing from a Facebook group? What brought you down this rabbit hole?
Well, honestly, it's just a desire to help people. I love real estate investing, and people would say, "Gosh, I didn't think it was possible. How do you do it?" And so, because of that, I said, "Well, let me put a course together." But then, after my friends ran out, I still have my addiction to sharing about taxes, tax lien, and real estate investing. So I'm like, how can I find more people? And it was just crickets. I used to do a lot of networking in person. And then after 2020, it was something that needs to be done digitally. And I've been trying to figure out this digital piece for years. And I've gone to all the classes and, whatever, listen to different people say, this way, no, come this way. And it didn't work. And I was ready to just give up completely. And then I found Kim and I said, oh my gosh.
So I love that you were almost about to give up, and then you found me, and then you have not given up, and then you got your first win, which I'm so excited to dive into about. So what is it about what you saw with me versus all the other? Because I know it can be noisy out there online of people trying to get your business. What is it about what you saw that made sense for you to go, okay, I'll give this a shot?
Yeah, well, you were saying something completely different than the other people. And so that was like really got my attention because everyone's saying the same thing and it's just noise. Like, well, do it my way. And it's just like one little thing that's different. Like they've taken one formula and they just, put something else to spin on it and say, this is my new different formula. It's like no one else's formula. And it's like, yes, it is. Because you haven't listened to the 20,000 pitches like this already. And so I came onto one of your lives and you were saying, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Did you know you could do this? I'm like, no, no, no. I've never heard any of this before. And that's when I knew. I'm like, okay, this girl knows something. She's got her own signature. I want to learn from someone that will sit with the room of, 4 people and tell them everything like she's sitting in front of 400 people. It's not for the crowds. You really care and you are innovative. That's what I like.
Oh, what is it that I said that you haven't heard from other people? I'm
You were
curious.
talking, well, everyone's saying go on this particular lesson. You were saying everyone says go into the DM and just start DMing people. And everyone's tired of being DM'd. Even I'm tired of being DM'd myself. And I just a lot of times ignore it. So, but you were saying there's software to help you, reach people and you don't have to disturb them. And so it was like the intelligence that you were using to, connect and draw leads to your program. That's what I really liked. And you're right there along with your clients in the journey, either you or someone in your staff, your team. You're so accessible. I mean, even to have this conversation, I've met with you a couple times because you care. You're like, you heard my story from your team member and you're like, hey, let me talk to her. And we sat down and we talked it through. And I said, okay, Kim, you understand what's going on in my life. And you're not trying to fit me into a a round hole in a square peg, right? You were really trying to make things work. And so you could see me reach my goal. And that's different. Everyone else wants you have to do, this is a way, the only way. They're not flexible. You're totally flexible. And your team really cares too. I've been working with Priyanka, and she's like, no, no, no. I'll say, Priyanka, our time's up. And she'll say, no, no, we got to get this one more thing and then I'll let you go. That's a caring energy that's with all of your team. It's amazing. I've never seen it before, except for my team, of course.
Yeah, of course, of course. Oh, such kind words. I love that, Cynthia. Yeah, I have a saying that we are the client we attract, and so who we are the type of clients that we get to work with. And I love that, like you're that how we are attracted you into our world, and yeah, which action taking, caring environment, which is what I love. All right. And Priyanka is amazing. She cares a lot. She has a huge, huge heart. And so I do want to dive into details as well, Cynthia. So how long did it take for you to do your first launch in terms of, like, let's say hours that you spent time on it, or like it could be like weeks, and then
Yeah.
so what I like to do is like a soundbite kind of thing, like time to first win, where you felt like you're in the program and you feel like you're winning, whether that's money or not. And then time to launch. And then what did you make on your launch? And yes, so it's just in that order: time to first win, time to launch, what's the revenue, cash collected for your first launch, given that a lot of things you tried before like did not work. This is a pretty monumental win. So
Yes. Yes. This is so huge. So the first win was just coming on board the first week. I knew I had made the right decision. I was really kind of reluctant to have my first meeting with Priyanka, because I'm like, but I've been talking to so and so, and usually the transfer doesn't work too well in the past, but this time it was really great. Priyanka did not disappoint. She had been given rave reviews, and she definitely showed up in all of her intelligence and caring and communication, and seeing a clear path. And so once she knew what my goals were, then she used a template and helped me to move forward in a very quick way. She says, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to have my first challenge in 3 weeks. And she's like, oh, okay. All right, we're going to do that. We're going to do it, girl. So she was right there with us, running side by side, coaching the whole way. And through Slack and different channels, we kept the lines of communication open, because we were on the fast track to launch. And it was like, she's like, so we just drilled it down to the bottom things that we needed. Like, she's like, do you have your day one slides done? I'm like, no. Do you have your book ready? No. Do you have this ready? No. But we had enough in place because of the program. Like, the first thing was the funnel. It was like, wow, the funnel's done. Oh my gosh, we have a real funnel and it works, and it was beautiful. And but it was easy because you have a template and you just follow the steps. But what is important is that steps are customizable, they're personalized. So it's yours, but it's mine. And so we just did the minimum, what did they call that? Minimum viable launch.
yes,
And we were out the door doing our launch every day. We were like doing it. And then when the launch was over, we'd start working on day 2. And when day 2 was over, we would get in there and start working on day 3. It was crazy. I have a VA, so that helped a lot. But she was working, like at least 6 hours a day on it, and I was working 6 hours a day on it, and then we were presenting, and it would just go like that till the end. And we didn't know how to do anything. We would go to the module, we would talk to Priyanka, we would go into Slack, we were just like digging for gold. But then it happened, and every day we were supercharged because our audience was excited, and they kept showing up and bringing friends and showing up and bringing friends. And so I said, my goal is to help you buy a tax lien by day 5. So on day 3, they all agreed to take an assignment, and they were like really coming alive. And what I never imagined happening in the launch, like it was so organic, that they all came through on the 4th day, and they said, okay, I called the tax office, I called the builder's office, I called this office, I called the realtor, and all of them together, we could, with the information, working as a group, could buy the tax lien. And but more than anything, people could see that came to the replay, wow, this is what she does in her group. The first time people could see what I do from the outside looking in. It just happened like that. It was great. So at the end, I didn't pitch. I didn't pitch at the end. I was like totally like afraid. I'm like, okay, yeah, they're going to go running this way if I say money. That's where, I have trouble. I can track people, but then I have to say, now, can I have some money, please? And then, so I didn't say it. And Priyanka said, that's okay. Have them book a call. So we were hard on them, following up, saying book, 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 book. And I made like videos for each person saying, hi, Mary, book a call with me. Hi, John, book a call with me. I had no shame. So my VA said, it was taking me too long. So she said, it's taking you too long to do these videos. So she said, I want you to say, hi, John, pause. Hi, Mary, pause, and then do the thing. So she spliced it together, and hi, Mary, with the whatever, book a call. Hi, John, book a call. And she did all that and sent them out. So finally, I started getting appointments. And that's when I had to show up again. I said, oh my God. But I finally sold one.
Let's go. This, I love
4K,
your
4K, 4K, 4K.
let's go. You know what's funny? So some of my team members, I'm like, hey, we got to put her 4K in the title, and like, because that's enormous. It's like to use your words, to have people interact, and then to have someone go, here's $4,000 of my hard-earned money. Yeah, to be guided. It's such a big breakthrough,
Yeah.
So how did you feel? Walk me through, like, I know you were like, oh my gosh, now I have to like do a sales call. It feels like a lot of these things are relatively newer to you, not something you were seasoned with doing.
Yeah, no, it was different because I listened. And so that was probably the best thing about having the calls booked and not just giving the offer out the first time. We were really using this as like a dress rehearsal. And so that way we were building up to our actual launch. So it was like a pre-launch, and having these conversations very one-on-one with the participants, it really helped me to see. And so when I was going to, I offered them 3 things in the conversation. So I said it wasn't the call was to book, to have their own personal investor profile. So how would they move forward? So I made it about them. And then they were opening, because in order for me to help them, they have to tell me the whole story, their budget, all these things. And so then I had more information to tailor something for them. And it seemed to be that people were not interested in buying a course, because with real estate, people buy courses and they never do anything. And so it came through in these discussions to do a hybrid where they learn, but they invest. So they put the money up front, and we're going to go through together, individually, 1 or 2 meetings, and then they come into a group, and the 12 weeks after that, then they group learn. And so we're doing a combination, and the investment is like a joint venture or done with you type of thing.
So from the conversations, you figure out what they really cared about and what mattered to them, and then you put together the offer that made sense.
Right. And I even had to tell some people no. And that was a new experience, because usually it's just like, if you want to come, then come. But part of the philosophy of Invest Like a Goddess is that you have to be prepared to and be willing to, go through this process of like a holistic process of investing. And I talked to one lady, and she said that she wanted to do it, but she was afraid, and all these things that had happened to her in the past. And her husband was telling her these things. And I said, well, you know something? I really don't think this is for you. And I was really sincere about it, as much as I want her to be a part of it, and I know it will change her life. I had to tell her, no, she was not ready yet, because, I said, I don't want that kind of energy in my group. The fear and negativity and doubt, and that you have to have at least a grain of, like the mustard seed, a little faith, or you're just going to bring that negative energy is going to weigh other people down. And I had to tell her no. And I said, when you're ready, we'll be here for you. But right now, it's not a good place for you.
Oh, I love that. Like, you're coming from a place of really caring about who you let in and your community and the energy of it, which is really important. And to be in a position where you're like, this container is important, so important to me that I'm going to turn people who are not a good fit away, which is great. It keeps your
because I know that your program works, so I know that I just repeat the program, and I'll meet more people, so I can be selective about who comes into the container. If I didn't know that next month I could do this better than the dress rehearsal, because we debriefed with Priyanka and put a plan together, and we have another launch coming up. We're going from 5 days to 3 days, and we're going to cover a Saturday so we can get more people from, taking work out of the equation, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And so if I didn't have that plan, the strategy that was provided by you and your team, I would have definitely said yes to her, because she was right there.
Yeah. So you have this, you see a consistency. You see, like, hey, if I just do this again, then, there is abundance. There is abundance.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I definitely have that energy. So it was easy to say no, because I know next month. And so sure enough, oh my God, I got a call from this lady, right? And so she's on LinkedIn. She's a LinkedIn type of expert, but she's full-time. She's works at a university. And she called and she said, I've been meaning to call you. No, you haven't. But anyway, she's seen my marketing, right? The Kim marketing.
The Kim marketing.
And so she said, so she started talking, and I didn't say anything about this at all. I thought she genuinely just wanted to catch up. So I took her at her word. And then, so I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say, I've got this going on, blah, 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 blah. And so she said, what about the tax liens? And I said, oh, you want to talk about tax liens? So she is coming on board, and we're working out the details, but she's going to bring some people with her.
Oh, wow. Let's go, Cynthia. I'm excited for you. I want to make sure we go into, like, so time to first win for you was when the first week you onboarded, you're like, okay, this is worth it. This program is good. And then time to launch is 3 weeks. And then what you got was you cash collected $4,000 with potential of more coming in on the way. So I know I said all those sentences. I want you to repeat that for, like, a soundbite. This is also something I'm going to coach you to do too. But okay, go ahead. Time to first win. Time to
Okay.
learn, and then how much do you make?
Okay. So time to win was the first week right away with my uh, one-on-one training with Priyanka. I knew I was in good hands and that I could accomplish anything with her by my side, and your program implementing that step by step. And then time to launch 3 weeks. We were just the minimal viable preparedness, but we were, what do you call, like off the grid, on the grid, but we just did what we could. We put it together, we cobbled it together, and we started dancing and singing from the Facebook group live and in living color. And then the cash, oh my gosh, the next week that started to rain money, 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 raining gold coins. And you know, and the money came in 4K, 4K, 4K.
Let's go.
Let's go. 4K times 10.
This is only the beginning, Cynthia. I'm really excited for when you go to the next phase, which is automating it. This is right now you're doing it manually, which is your first launch. So the next phase is automating, and then the phase after that is like ramping up with ads. So I'm really excited for you. So I get a lot of questions, Cynthia, and it's best for for me not to answer those questions for you. Instead of me, it's you. So I have people who are kind of like on the fence, who are a little bit afraid. They're like, no, I need to put together an offer first. I got to put this together first before I do this. Did you have an offer all together before you enrolled with us? Like for you, what were like the kind of like resistance things that came up that was addressed as you came into the program itself?
Well, I didn't really have anything because I was starting from scratch, new branding, completely just a new landscape. So I was open, but I was just concerned that I would be able to do these things myself because I'm not very technical. And I think that's been my reluctance to go into the digital world and offer challenge and talk from this platform of Facebook or LinkedIn Live or anything like that. It's just not the same as being in person. And how would people, what would they think? How's my hair look? And something in my teeth, and I might cough and lose track of my thoughts, who knows? But it was just, that was my main concern. But it was plug and play. I don't have to know anything. I don't have to know how a funnel works or anything like that. I don't need to know SEO. And I think a lot of times some of these programs, they scare you like, oh, it's all these things. And it's like, it's none of those things. You need to get in front of somebody and open your mouth and tell them what you do and why they should work with you.
Yeah. Say it how it is. Yeah. So sometimes I tell people, I'm like, hey, what we have, you just like have a group of people, talk into that group. We tell you what to say, you go say it.
Yeah.
And then a handful of them will say yes. Out of everyone, you're going to get a few people.
Yes, that's right. And some people are just afraid and they're not going to do anything ever in their life. And that's okay too. But I think if I had to put my finger on one thing, it was, that's one of the things about being visible, making a presentation, talking on the stage of any sort, is what do I say? And so there is no problem with what to say. Because first of all, your subject. So I don't know anything else. I know how to talk about tax liens, but it's the before and the after that I was missing. And so day one, I was like, I don't need day one. I don't need those slides. I'm just going to go in there and just do what I do. Right. And so then Priyanka said, so how'd that work out for you? I'm like, she's like, did you get those slides done yet? And I'm like, no, not yet. She's like, listen, you have got to get those slides done. That's the money. The money's in day one. If you don't do day one right, forget it. So, she don't talk like that. I talk like that. But I'm just saying, if I were Priyanka, that's what I'd say. Get it done, girl. So So that's what happened. I finally did it. Priyanka's like, day one, day one, day one. She kept shoving those slides down my throat. She's like, slides, slides, slides.
I get asked the question. So how do you feel like someone can fail? Because I get asked that question a lot. Like, how would they ask me about success rate? Like, what's the success rate? How would I fail? And I say, well, you would fail if you don't show up for yourself. If
Yeah.
you just don't show up. But what's your answer to that, Cynthia?
If you're not coachable, if you're not willing to change, if you think you have all the answers, then it's not going to work for you. You're exactly right. Just leave Priyanka alone because she's working with me. Okay. And we're going to make all the money over here.
And also, is this program niche specific? Because sometimes I do get someone who's like worked in a very particular industry. They help people do one thing, and it's so specific. But then they don't know if this will work for this will work for them. So they'll ask, like,
well,
did you work with this type of person that this? Like, if you were to come to us and say, did you work with someone who did tax liens and exactly like that before you jump in?
Yeah. No, it doesn't matter about that. I was concerned because mine is very specific. I'm like, this is so specific. A lot of people haven't heard of it. So there's a lot of reluctance just from, oh, that sounds like a fake or something. But no, it doesn't matter about that. I've been on group calls where I'm just like, you do what? And and they're like doing all their stuff. It doesn't matter. The subject matter is not relevant to it at all. It's a system. You just apply the system. It's a template. It's like a dress. You put it on and you're good. So it's like, just try it on. And then you might need to tailor it, like take the hem up a little bit or take the sleeves in a little bit or something. But it works for everybody, regardless of what it is. It's just it's showing you visibility. It's getting you people to see you. Like for me, people are calling me that I've been trying to get for 2, 3, 4 years. And they didn't see me. But I'm showing up on the banner. I'm like, hey, look at me. You know what I'm saying? I showed up. I've got a funnel now. I've got a funnel. I didn't I didn't have that before. So they thought I was small. They're like, I don't know if she'll be around. She's saying, sign up for my 6-month program. How do I know she's going to be here in month 2 or 4 or 6? Because she's such a small potato. She doesn't even have a funnel.
Yeah.
So now I'm showing up like other experts, the other brands show up, with my QR code over here.
Let's go. Tax lien goddess. Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's sometimes that jump from not having that but knowing so much about it to having an online presence, having a message, having videos that convey like your value and what you are. It could be a chasm, or it could be 3 weeks and you got it.
Mm-hmm.
There.
Yeah. The other thing that's really important too is that people didn't know how to get in touch with me. So I was making it hard for people to communicate their interests. So there's other people that do teach tax liens too, believe it or not. And but they still, now they're calling me saying, I've seen other videos, but I know you. So, if you're doing this and you're showing up now, then I want to work with you. And that's really great. There's enough business for everyone. No matter what you do, you don't need, 10,000 people, 1,000 people. You couldn't help them anyway. So having, like for me, it's a little more personal service and it's a higher dollar of investing and everything. But for me, 20 people, 30 people, 10 people, it's enough. So I just think that people need to see you and know that you know what you're talking about and that you're going to be there for them. And doing a program like this where you show up in a way that Kim and her team show you how to do that, then they believe that you'll be there for them, that you're committed to your own business, that you show up in a way that gives them confidence in you.
Yeah. Yeah. No one can really replace you. Like there's no competition because there's only really one of you. And if
Mm-hmm.
you care and you show up, that's what they are saying yes to. Um,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then in terms of return on your investment, Cynthia, when did you feel like you're like, oh, I got the ROI that I invested into this program? Because a lot of times people understand, they see like cost, but they don't see
Mm-hmm.
like, and even you attributing people that have been around your world for a long time and then saying like because of this launch they're paying attention, they're looking at you. um it's great. It's like a reactivation campaign for
Mm-hmm.
you.
Yeah, yeah. And then they know people, their network. So it's activating more than just the challenge. So it creates a ripple effect. And the people that see this, that they tell other people about you and what you're doing. So, and even the people that are may say, no, this isn't for me right now or ever. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to tell someone that, oh, this isn't for me, but you might like this. So that's why you have to get out there and you have to do it, as often as possible. So what we decided to do to kind of, push it a little further is I'm doing a live on LinkedIn, which will drive them to the challenge the following week. So today I did a live in LinkedIn, never did that before, made all kinds of mistakes. I was talking, they couldn't see me because I was backstage and I didn't know how to put myself front stage. I told you, I don't know technology, right? So I'm talking, and anyway, we finally got it together. I'm like, oh, I need to put this over here. And then let's see what happens if I press this button. And let me see what happens if I press that button. So then I was on there. And afterwards, I went in and I edited and I took that little dumb part out. And so now they just see, welcome, you know.
I love it. So for the question, did you feel like you got your so far return on your investment from what you've like invested initially? Like how did that feel for you in terms of like what you risked and then like what you got?
Yeah, I felt like I got my return on my investment as I began to the full cycle of having that first launch done, even though it wasn't fully everything. There's so much information to absorb and to continue to incorporate, but it came right away because it wasn't like this is the way. It's I get really stuck on this is the way. It's like, this is the way and this is how it is tailored to you. And so when I could really see my program coming together, like the QR code and, the things that we built together along the way, that's when I could just see it coming to life. And now I see the beginning. It's like we're just at the beginning. We're still like on the rise, and then we'll get to the plateau, and then it'll be downhill from there. And so I'm enjoying the ride so far. Even though have you ever been on that ride at Disneyland or one of those where it goes choo 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 choo, and you're going up on the roller coaster, and you're just like, oh my god, and then you get there and you're like, oh, here we go. And so we're still climbing the mountain, but we're making progress. We are going forward, and that's exciting.
Yeah, I love that. Last question before I have my audience, you tell my audience what you do and where can they find you is how has your future shifted from before you joined Ignite and then after your launch, after your first launch, and like what are the things you felt changed and what does your future look like now for you?
Well, I was pretty I'm a positive person, but I was pretty down that I could find people to join my community. And so I said, this is the last thing. I'm going to try this. And after that, boop, because, I couldn't make it work. I could not convey the message properly. And so now I'm so hopeful and I'm so excited because of the response I've gotten. When I showed up, then the audience showed up, and I don't think I was showing up before.
Yeah, I love that. Now you get to show up and they get to be there as well.
Yeah, and I get to make a difference in other people's lives, which is really exciting, because the people I talk to, and they tell me, how worried they are for the future and, for their finances. And so, this is like bringing hope to them too. And so it's, like attracts like. I'm hopeful, and they're feeling hopeful. And that's what people want. They want to feel like there's a solution to their problem.
Yeah. You're making not only the income, but also definitely the impact.
Yeah, lots of good karma coming back to me like a boomerang.
Cynthia, you're hilarious. I love it. All right. So, Cynthia, tell the audience, what do you do and where can they find you? There's a QR code that they can scan here, but
yes.
your particular website, especially when they only hear the audio version of this in some of our.
Okay, sure. Well, I'm excited to say that I've been a tax lien investor for over 5 years, and I've helped other people to invest in tax liens. So it's really real estate investing, buying as low as you possibly can for a high return and the real estate. And so I help people buy property regardless of their credit or their savings account. So, and you can find me at taxliengoddess.com to join one of my challenges, or to learn more about me. You can go to my website at investlikeagoddess.com.
All right, let's go, Cynthia. I can't wait to sync up with you again after your next launch, and then after you automate it, it's to the top from here.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thanks so much, Kim, for making this new chapter in my life. It's only good things are going to happen from here.
Yeah, well, it took years to put this together, and I'm so glad that you're able to benefit from us collapsing time for you.
Yes.
I love that. All right, Cynthia. Well, I'm going to put you back into the green room. You can exit out from there. I'm glad you made it to this interview safely. Cynthia was in traffic when I was like this. Cynthia, you coming?
But, yeah, LA traffic.
Yeah. So I love that. So guys, go to taxliengoddess.com to connect with Cynthia if you want to purchase properties regardless of your savings account and your credit score.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. All right. Or go to investlikeagoddess.com to get in touch with Cynthia. All right. Cool, Cynthia. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I love that you're on this high and I can cash you during this period. All right.
Thank you, Kim.
Oh, one last thing. If someone were to be on the fence to joining Ignite and they're a good fit, what would you say to them?
Don't hesitate. You'll change your life if you work with Kim.
We did not pay Cynthia to say that. Okay. Cynthia, have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye. All right, I put Cynthia in the green room where she can exit out. Cynthia Spirlin, she specializes in tax liens, and it's real estate investing in a way where you don't need to have a lot of capital to get started. Super cool. We have clients who teach everything underneath the sun. So you don't have to necessarily be from that niche. But if that's what you do, you teach real estate. We have helped so many clients who have brought their vision to life in terms of truly helping people. Like they've done the thing. They've done it for many years. Now they get to teach it. So if that sounds like you, we are not for everyone. But if it sounds like you and you're willing to put in the work to do a launch and convert one-to-many in your group, and be able to do it in a way where it's consistent as long as you show up, then make sure that you go and you, below this comment, hashtag strategy, and my team and I will hop on a strategy call with you to answer your questions as well as see if you're a good fit to come in and join us. Congratulations to those who have already recently enrolled for this training for this week. And we now have about 4 spots left. So super excited for you guys. And I'll see you if you're watching the replay, I'll see you in the next video. If you're watching the live, have a great rest of your day. I love to connect and share stories of my clients so that you can see, even if you don't have an offer, even if you don't know what you're going to talk about, and even if you have tried and failed before countless of times and this is your last hurrah, then we are here. All right. Have a great rest of your day.